Ladies and gentlemen, it is finally over. That's right, the XRP case has ended, and at the same exact time that this is happening, we are also witnessing the entire market wake up with Ethereum finally breaking over $4,000. This is everything that we could have asked for in this market right now, and I really do think that this is going to lead to XRP going absolutely insane. And also, we are inching closer to alt season than ever before. We have a lot to talk about in this video, so just sit back, relax, and let's dive on in. Number one, let's just take a quick look at the overall market because the market is picking up in a big way. We also watched as Bitcoin dominance earlier was dropping in a huge way as well. This is just really kind of leading us into the same exact thought process that we had prior, which is, alt season's basically around the corner. We are in phase 2, which is Ethereum's phase of the cycle. I think that that's pretty clear by just the outperformance from Ethereum compared to Bitcoin. And then if you're thinking about that, you're also looking at XRP and you're saying, interesting. We're in phase 2 of the cycle, which is Ethereum. Doesn't really feel like it, right? Because XRP is up 9% in the last 24 hours and it's up almost 14% in the last 7 days, and we're sitting over $3.34. It's incredible to see. But we're still following the phases of the cycle. I really do think that everything that we're witnessing around XRP, it's pretty much XRP making up for what happened back in 2021, right? We missed the biggest cycle. This is going to be even bigger than 2021. And with XRP trading at the prices that it's already trading at and the performance that it already has so far this cycle, guess what? It's going to be much bigger going forward, especially once we really inch into alt season. But XRP so far looking very good. Trading volume up 150% today alone. This is what the overall daily chart looks like. In the last 7 days, we're up about 14%. In the last month, over 40+%. In the last year, I mean, guys, almost 500%. And the chart looks just insane. We're going to be talking about it. But yeah, I mean, this is incredible trading volume. If we actually look at the daily trading volume, outside of stablecoins, of course, XRP is just under Ethereum, and it is the third largest cryptocurrency, so it definitely makes a lot of sense. But $11.6 billion is pretty large in comparison to even like USDC, for an example, because XRP is mirroring at this point stablecoins, which we already know how big stablecoins are for the space. It is, the liquidity for the space. So the fact that XRP's trading volume is surging like this should tell you everything, right? People are very excited about this case being over. We'll talk about that here in a second, but this is what the 3-day chart looks like, even if we're taking a quick look at the daily view as well. And, the daily is going to look a little bit different. We could draw this a little bit different too. It kind of looks similar to this, where we are breaking out. We just reclaimed the big level of $3.28. And if you guys don't know, that's like right around the resistance zone back here in January. So we are now breaking over this resistance level, and now we're targeting the next big zone here. And it's more so on the 3-day, right? On the 3-day, we're looking at the next target being $3.50. If we're looking at the daily, it's just around like roughly like 356. So, reclaim $3.60 and we just go crazy on XRP. So this overall move here looks very good. So far, price action is looking incredible. And if you guys do know from yesterday's updates that I was really kind of addressing price charts, the main thing that I was looking at was just higher highs. And XRP so far, if we're thinking about this lower time frame structure, we have that lovely uptrend in place, right? We were holding the uptrend. Looks very good here. We have our significant low. We have our higher lows. And then the main thing was breaking over the highs. Here we have a high. Here's a major high. Boom. Higher high. XRP right now on the chart is extremely bullish. The structure here is extremely bullish. And even when we zoom out on the 3-day, I just want you guys to understand that even on the recent price action down to roughly like $2.71 after we lost $3, we held on major support. And the craziest part about all of this is everyone was still expecting lower price action at a time where the entire market environment was extremely bullish. So I'm very happy about how XRP has held up. Now, in terms of that, here we have the big update. regarding the SEC and the Ripple case, dismissing the appeals. So both sides basically, dropped their appeals. We know that we've been waiting on this for so long. It's been 5 years in the making, guys. We have been waiting patiently for this. I've been talking about it over the last couple weeks as well, because it's been over like a month or so since we got the big update from Ripple regarding them dropping their appeal. And we were just waiting patiently. And we pretty much knew that this case was done. I mean, I don't think anyone really thought that this case was going to continue on. And the main signal that this case was basically finished was everything happening around Ripple this year. We started to see more and more acquisitions. We saw Hidden Road, which was a huge one, right? That happened back in April. They would not have done this if they weren't going to wrap up that case. And then, during this entire time, we kept hearing about the ETF talks and, what's next, and also what's next for Ripple. They said that they are in, an acquiring phase of the market where they want to acquire as many companies as possible to build their infrastructure out. So again, it just kind of felt as if the case was done anyways. And the SEC being the SEC that they are now, which is this pro-crypto SEC, they want to see innovation thrive in the US. It kind of made a lot of sense for them to just say, all right, well, you know what? We're dropping our appeal as well. Let's get this case out of the way. Let's get, the ball rolling here. So I'm loving this big update finally after 5 years. I do remember when we got the big update regarding this case as well. And it was a big shocker to everyone because, for the next 12 months or so, even though XRP did perform, I mean, listen, it's not like XRP just sat there doing absolutely nothing. If we go back in time, XRP still did a very incredible run going off of the lows of COVID. And I won't even go off of the exact low here, but, we still did roughly a 1,300% push. If we're going off of that low, it's about a 1,700% push back in a time where, XRP was delisted from almost every single major exchange. And there was basically this massive negative aura around XRP. So again, we know that this time around, with everything happening in front of us, with this case basically being wrapped up, we could finally get the ball rolling. We could finally see what XRP is capable of doing. And I think that this is going to be very exciting for everyone. Now, on top of that, okay, and I really want to go in depth on this, but I don't know if I'm going to have enough time in this video. We might actually save it for another video, but Rail Financial, right? Ripple just acquired Rail Financial. In fact, it was just 1 day prior to this announcement of the case being wrapped up. So this was a huge acquisition because, number one, Rail Financial is a massive player in the stablecoin side of the market. We have here, this strengthens Ripple's leadership in crypto infrastructure and stablecoin payments by adding Rail's robust back office and virtual account capabilities to our global payments network. Learn how this deal enables institutions to move value faster, compliantly, and more efficiently with the most comprehensive stablecoin payment solution available on the market. Now, like I said, I want to go in depth on this. It's going to probably be saved for another video simply because there is so much information to go over, and I just don't want to give you guys, a lame video where I'm just like, oh yeah, this is huge because of X, Y, and Z. No, I actually want to go over the stats behind this. But here we have from Monica Long, the president of Ripple, saying stablecoin payments are everywhere for good reason. When we met the Rail Financial team, we knew their product capabilities would complement what Ripple Payments already offers. Together, we're taking the complexity out of stablecoin-based payments for any financial institution's needs. We'll have capabilities such as stablecoin pay-ins and payouts, including USD, without requiring customers to hold crypto or manage accounts themselves. Not to mention a broad and deep global network, market-leading liquidity, and more. Welcome, Rail. So yeah, this is definitely a huge compliment for what Ripple is trying to do with the Internet of Value, moving money around the world as easy as information does today. And it also complements what they already built so far in the last couple months with RLUSD, even with XRP, the XRPL, and tokenization as a whole. So this is huge. And on top of that, Brad Garlinghouse did say no such thing as the August doldrums at Ripple. Very excited to share what we're acquiring, Rail Financial. Ripple plus Rail together will be the go-to provider of stablecoin payments infrastructure for global financial institutions around the world. And yeah, I mean, listen, this is a big deal. When we think about, Ripple specifically, let's go to RLUSD, right? If we're thinking about RLUSD, 61 million volume in the last 24 hours, 620 million total supply. This has been growing in a very, very large way. And even if we're thinking about this, let's actually go real quick over to RWA.xyz. Let's go to RLUSD, 24% in the last 30 days. The monthly transfer volume, 3.25 billion, up 15.4%. What we just witnessed with this acquisition will skyrocket these numbers even higher. We also have over here from Rail. This is exactly why it's going to ignite RLUSD in a big way. Big news, Rail is joining Ripple, a huge milestone in our mission to build trusted enterprise-grade infrastructure for global payments. We power 10% plus of all B2B stablecoin volume. Now with Ripple's backing, we're scaling even faster. 10% of all B2B stablecoin volume. Guys, that's massive. When we think about how much money this is going to move, this acquisition is so big. In fact, it's just as big as the Hidden Road one, right? We talked about the Hidden Road acquisition. This is another big one, 3 trillion per year, 300 plus top financial institutions. These acquisitions are so big for Ripple. They are complementing what they're trying to get done and accomplish, but also it reinforces RLUSD. It reinforces XRP and the XRPL. It reinforces tokenization, but also the focus of institutional DeFi and institutional adoption, which is that's like Ripple's bread and butter if you think about it, right? But also, what does all of this have to do with what just happened? Well, the case is done, right? Big boom event. Why does this really get involved with all of this? Because like I said, we pretty much knew that this case was wrapped up once we started to see the acquisitions. Well, it's the fact that Ripple is so confident to go after these big institutional players and acquire them. And it's because this case was wrapping up. These institutional players will now look at Ripple. They will look at what happened with the SEC, and they know now that it's safe to tap into Ripple. They know that it's safe to tap into XRP with Ripple. This is going to ignite RLUSD adoption. It's going to ignite tokenization use cases on the XRP ledger, which, by the way, the XRP ledger has $180 million tied to it, up 51+% in the last 30 days. The stablecoin market up 49% in the last 30 days. There's now 3 stablecoins attached to Ripple or to XRP, which we already know that there's going to be more stablecoins because Ripple announced it. There's going to be about 5 or 6. I mean, guys, the growth here for XRP, the growth for Ripple, the growth for everything around the Ripple ecosystem is going to ignite even more. We think about the 1,700 NDAs. We think about the institutional players that we've been tracking for years now that are also a part of the Ripple ecosystem because of the acquisition of Medico. I mean, guys, everything is falling into place for Ripple, and I am so excited for all of this. And of course, we cannot overlook how big all of this is for XRP, because XRP from this point on just got 10 times more bullish than before. And I think that even 10 times more bullish is an understatement. This is a huge day for XRP. It's a historical one as well. It's something that we've been waiting 5 years for, guys. So it's finally here. I think that this calls for a celebration. So with that being said, I just want to quickly say thank you to everyone that's been sticking around for 5 years, waiting for this thing to wrap up. It's finally done. I'm excited. I'm sure that a lot of you out there are also excited. And with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on. If you guys do want more free content, you guys are more than welcome to follow me on X, as well as join the free Discord down in the description below. And with that being said, guys, it's been Nick. Thanks for watching. Peace out.